we can talk about it again. And then remind me of your color history.
So it's mostly the box dye that I get at Whole Foods and Nature Tint, and then I would get the glaze from the Redken glaze at Ulta, but every now and again a lady would work on me too, but I think mostly she was just doing the gloss, the Redken.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So the only thing is, it's gonna take us a bit to get this warm tone out.
Yeah.
So it'll take us a few sessions. Since you're gray, it has a good amount of silver. We will have to do like a demi in certain areas. So that way the roots don't look lighter than what color we do. And then the second session, then we can eliminate the demi. And that way it'll give you like the softest blend. Yeah, it's just because if we don't do the demi, your white will be in between the highlights and it will still look lighter than the bottom.
Well, because I was kind of hoping to. Remember, I told you I've been having issues with the rash on my face, so I've been wanting to avoid, even on my scalp. But I mean, it's been a long time since I've done it, so I think I'll be okay.
Okay, then let's just do it where you part your hair and in the hairline. Is that okay?
Well,
we don't usually do the whole.
I usually don't do a part. I pull it back, or I have it clipped back.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can do the whole thing. That's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the demi, right?
Yeah, with the demi. Okay. I haven't had anyone have a reaction to it yet. But yeah, I feel like it should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any questions or anything?
No.
Okay. And then you okay with making the ends lighter?
Yeah.
Okay, as far as the blend, because I want to get rid of this color as much as possible. Okay, sounds good. Hi, and welcome back to this week's episode. So here is a new client who was tired of covering her gray, but she also expressed to me that she was getting like skin allergy to the color that she was using to cover her gray. And I do see this or hear this a lot with a lot of clients. It's a very common thing that can happen over time with permanent color. And just like as your body ages too, you can gain new allergies. And now I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I just have seen and heard that there is a pattern to this. So I would say that gray blending is a great alternative because it allows the client to go longer in between coloring their hair. And she did express to me that she was a little bit worried because of the color, but I personally have never had anyone have like a really bad reaction with the Danger Jones gloss toners that we're going to be using for her demi. Now, if anyone is listening or watching this video and know of anyone or personally have had reaction to the color, I would love to hear your story about it or thoughts on it, because I personally haven't had anyone have major reaction or anything like that. Maybe like slight sensitivity, but nothing to the point where like they're totally allergic to it, I think. And for me personally, I do have sensitive skin too, so it's a huge thing for me. And reason why I feel like this could be really beneficial for clients who are looking for alternative to something that they have allergy to color and like the frequency of coloring their hair. Now, I'm not saying that these products are don't cause any allergy or anything like that, but definitely with this technique, we're doing something that is going to be a little bit longer lasting, so you don't have to color your hair as often, I would say. And so before anything else, I want to dive into my color placement if you are new. So we are trying to correct the old color that she has on those mids and ends, but also goal is to blend her root. Now we are focused on both, but I would say our primary goal is to really get rid of that old color on the ends and make it so that she can wear whatever we do today as long as possible and just like let it grow out naturally. Now, I do say that it might take multiple sessions because depending on a client's tolerance or the way that they felt the color grows out, not everyone needs a second or third session. That is totally optional. I always try to create a look that will grow out as best as possible with what we have working with. With that being said, I'm going in with my signature placement. I do detail hairlines around the nape if you want to scroll back, but after that we pretty much just do a mohawk section. And because her mids and ends have no highlights, they are all dark, I am packing in these highlights pretty heavy. We are doing slices because if you can tell by her regrowth, she's got a heavy concentrated silver pattern compared to the pepper that is naturally in her hair. So when I'm doing a corrective session, meaning we're trying to still correct her old color while still matching her new color, the goal is to mimic her gray pattern. Now, we are not completely following every strand of white hair, but what I'm trying to do is ultimately match the pattern, meaning the percentage of light to dark or dark versus light, however way you want to say it, but create a look to where the foils kind of match the lightness of the light versus dark situation that she has naturally. And so what I mean by that is that since she is primarily silver, I am going in heavier with these root to end foils because I want these foils to grow out and look like they are lighter than her natural as much as possible. And so that when it does grow in, it naturally looks a little bit more dimensional and then something into something lighter. So I'm going in with these foils, packing them nice and close together, and then I'm gonna be doing tip outs on her ends of her hair to kind of create a more solid effect on those ends, meaning I want to try to get rid of this brown as much as possible. And by creating a more solid placement on the ends, even though she has some pepper at the root, that will ultimately look like she has her ends lighter, and when her roots naturally grow in, they are a little bit darker than the ends that we have now made solid. And that is going to create a more natural, lived in, intentional placement. So as we were going through, you could see that her virgin root was ready. I pulled those foils, I left the ends and let that process in a towel until it was ready to be rinsed as well. And then for her toner formulation, I'm using the Danger Jones gloss toners. I'm just using my go-to formula. If you have watched any of my videos, I use this universally on a lot of my gray blending clients. It is the root shadow of 5-1, and then on the ends we did 6-01 and 9-12. And this is going to help cancel out some of that warmth. And now I will say that her hair didn't lift perfectly even, but for what we were working with and her color history and the different zones that lifted unevenly, this toner did a really good job at smoking and evening out the canvas so that we had something that was going to be a lot easier to work with the next time that she comes in.
Ooh. Yeah, it looks good.
Looks good.
Oh my god.
Right?
Wow, I love it. Wow, I love it.
So pretty. Yeah, like your roots look great.
Yeah, I love
Yay, I'm so glad.
it. Wow.
Alrighty, so here is the end results. I absolutely loved it. I feel like it still has great dimension, and when this fades out, it will fade out to an ash blonde before it fades out fully blonde. She can maintain some of that warmth with some purple shampoo, or she could just let this fade out. Now, when it fully fades out, the way that it will blend with the gray is that she'll still have those lighter pieces blended in with some of that salt and pepper. So you can see at the root, it looks very natural. And then we can assess her hair when she comes in and how it's faded out, how she was feeling with the placement, and whether or not she's ready to go a little bit lighter and get rid of more of that old brown that she had previously. Alrighty, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next week.